believe that it's been 3 years already, you know, chasing dreams and making things happen. It's been tough. I mean, it's been a really, really tough 3 years, but some exciting things are ahead, and I'm really pumped about what's to come. A lot of the product I've developed has been largely inspired by what I personally wanted, my own selfish wants and needs as a fly fisherman, things that I had a problem with. I hated the big bulky vests. I hated having things up front. I hated being able to not have to be able to get to my gear, having to lay my gear down somewhere and having to backtrack to figure it out. But more than anything, I hated having to pack my gear well in advance of when I got somewhere, only to find out that I left something critical behind, or I took the wrong bag and I left something in a different bag, or I get down to the water and I expected it to be flowing at one level and it was flowing at a totally different level, and it changed everything I needed. And I had those miserable days where I needed something important, or I didn't have everything I needed, or in truth I was totally ill-prepared for what I got into, and those are bad days. So when I set out to build this stuff, I wanted to build stuff that was a modular system, something you could grab pieces, grab components, keep it all together, and then you pick and choose what you needed once you got to where you were going, instead of having to try and guess all the time. So. The whole point and purpose of everything I've designed, it had to be simple, it had to be durable, it had to be versatile, it had to be the kind of stuff you could use down any dirt road or trail in America regardless of what you planned on doing. That was the bottom line. I wanted it to be the kind of thing that you would go to the real Vedavoo at in Wyoming, regardless if you're hiking or camping or climbing or backpacking or going fishing for the day. It had to be that one pack you could take. Frankly, was my core pack. That's what I wanted to design, and that was the key pack that I set out to really build when I started doing this stuff. And then it was my favorite. Today it's my favorite, and it's proven to be a major favorite for a lot of folks that buy our stuff today and use our packs comfortably and all the time. I've got guys who are longtime vest wearers making the jump and taking on one of our slings, and have found that they're very, very happy with what they end up with. I'm having guys that are being true converts now and are going all the way down the trail with Vedavoo just because they love how that one product works. And I remember a fishing trip. I was headed down to the White Pool at the Swift River, and on my drive down there I looked over on the side and there was literally factory after factory after factory that was dry and dead and decaying, and obviously hadn't been used for years. And it broke my heart because I remember seeing this vision mentally of those factories in their heyday, cranking out furniture, any number of things that they were producing, and keeping the local economies alive. And then as you drove through the towns adjacent to them, you saw for sale signs on every yard. I mean, it was like it was one of the most tragic things I've ever seen in my life. Until you've driven down a road like that, you have no idea how bad the economy really got. And to be able to see that firsthand at a critical time in my company where I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to get things made in America, it just reinforced the importance of staying the course on that and really following through. And it's a big reason why I've continued to do things the way I've done and focus on trying to build things here domestically and keeping the jobs here in the United States, giving back to people who need it most. I source all my things out of the United States, all my components. All my fabric is American woven, American made, out of American pipe. My zippers are American, and even my thread is American. And yeah, it costs more, but it's the right kind of expense. I want to give more to something like that because I know it's going to affect the families of the workers who build that stuff. And in the same way that when people buy Vedavoo packs, they're helping to support my family and the families of the other folks who work with me. I feel good about knowing that when I'm buying those inputs, they make a lasting difference on not only our family but theirs.